Witch's Hill.
We've all heard about urban legends, but we don't always know the areas they originated from. Here's every state's top urban legend. Listen for your state and let us know what else you've heard about down in the comments. Alabama, Hell's Gate Bridge. Apparently some teenagers lost their lives on this bridge by seemingly driving over the edge. Story goes that if you go and park your car on the bridge at certain nights, you can turn around and be looking into a fiery void of hell. Yay, Alabama. Alaska, the Bushmen. A long time ago, the Inuit native people of Alaska and Alaskan Bushmen, or better known as Bigfoot, or feet in this case, once lived peacefully alongside one another in the northern parts of Alaska. That was until an Inuit killed a Bushman for destroying his kayak. Since then, the Bushmen have migrated all over and have been seen wandering to this day. Arizona, the LOST-DUTCHMANS gold mine. Located by Jacob Waltz in the 1800s, this mine is said to hold so much gold that you could retire lives over. Though no one other than Jacob has ever found this place. Hundreds of miners over the years have lost their lives trying to locate this legend. This seems more like nature's lottery ticket compared to some of these other urban legends. Arkansas, the Dog Boy. The name is pretty spot on with this one. A half dog, half man has been sighted multiple times in Arkansas. They estimate this thing to be around 300 pounds. Good thing all who have seen this thing have taken off running in fear, because if he gets close, apparently he'll bite at your heels. California, Turnbull Canyon. This place is a horror fanatic's dream. The natives call it Hutukingna, the place of the devil. A long history of death is known due to Christianity, as those who would not accept the new religion would be killed off here. Witches and Satanists were known to have sacrificed children here, and those children have been seen walking the trails alone, as well as dangling from trees. Rumor has it that 21 children were killed when a plane crashed there in 1952, though there is no record of such an event. There's even ruins of an old insane asylum from the 1900s. All this alongside alien encounter stories and places where gravity acts different. The list seems to go on and on. I guess the only way to see how amazing this place is to visit. Colorado, Riverdale Road. This 11-mile horror drive is located near Thornton, Colorado. Demons appearing along the side of the road, a phantom Camaro, and a demon jogger who attacks parked cars on Joggers Hill. All of this fails in comparison to the cherry on the cake. The gates of hell. Well, in a way. No gates remain, but legend has it that a mansion once stood there with magnificent gates. However, the mansion was destroyed when the husband burned his wife and his child alive. Now only a charred lot remains. That and the woman in white who wanders in the area, and what people believe to be the spirits of slaves who were once killed there near a tree. People firmly believe that this is a portal to hell, and we can kinda see why. Connecticut, the Melonheads. This one sounds very similar to The Hills Have Eyes. People suspect these creatures to have escaped from a mental institution as it burnt to the ground, and that the odd shape of their heads are due to cannibalism and inbreeding. Delaware, Mr. Chews. There was once a judge named Samuel Chew. People would make fun of him for his last name and would purposely make fake sneezes just to say, "Achoo." He hated it so much that after his death, he haunted the people that made fun of him by continuously making them go into sneezing fits. That's pretty clever, Mr. Chew. Florida, the skunk ape. This thing has apparently been sighted so much it gained rapid attention in Florida. A skunk ape can stand between 5 feet and 7 feet tall and weigh as much as 450 pounds. They give off a strong odor similar to rotting garbage and sun-baked carcasses. They mostly eat berries and small animals, though they have been known to wander onto a farm and shred a boar or two to death. They say that this is an offshoot from Bigfoot and possibly from the same family, so as of now nothing can be proven. Georgia, Curse of Lake Lanier. This massive man-made lake is on the radar for many reasons. The main reasons being tragic and mysterious deaths. There's been a high number and high frequency of boat accidents, drownings, and homicides. Construction workers found the remains of a woman who had disappeared in 1958, still stuck in her car, still at the bottom of the lake. Since then, her ghost has been seen near the waters. Oddly enough, there are apparently evil catfish that lurk at the bottom, and they're large enough to devour a dog or drown a diver. I mean, you can go out there and catch one, but bring a boat. Oh, wait. Never mind. Hawaii, the Night Marchers. These spirits are known to walk the lands at night at very specific times. They wander to reclaim their lost land and avenge their deaths. However, if you should happen across paths with one of them, do not make eye contact, as you will seal your or a loved one's fate and die. The only way to avoid death is to lay face down and, depending on the source, pee your pants in submission. That, or if you're lucky enough to share a bloodline with them. Idaho, Phantom Jogger of Canyon Hill. In Caldwell's Canyon Hills Cemetery, there is a ghostly jogger who will only reveal itself to you if you park between two specific trees. If you do it right, she will appear next to your car and tap on the window just to let you know that she's there, and then she'll continue on her jog. Illinois, the Italian Bride. After Giulia Bacola-Petta had died during childbirth in 1921, her mother had begun experiencing nightmares of Giulia wanting her coffin opened. After 6 years, her mother's wish had been granted. She had been dug up and had somehow been perfectly preserved, which led her mother to have a giant marble statue of Giulia put onto the gravesite. Upon further inspection, there was reportedly a picture of Giulia that had been taken when she was exhumed, showing her perfectly untouched body, paving the way to her legend. Reports say that the smell of fresh flowers can be smelled near her grave in the dead of winter, and that she herself will sometimes come to visit. On some occasions, she even visits the local high school. I couldn't track down the location of the cemetery, so if anyone has any leads, please post them in the comments below. Indiana, Crosley Monster. This is another Bigfoot adaptation, but mainly in Indiana. Their version is similar to Bigfoot tale, but they claim that theirs is 7 feet tall and has yellow eyes, and that makes for a very disturbing combo. Iowa, VILLISCA Axe Murder House. Not so much of an urban legend, as it is known that the murders actually did happen. On June 9th of 1912, sometime during the night or possibly even the early morning of the 10th, 6 members of the Moore family and 2 guests had been killed, all with blows from an axe to the head. Someone was tried twice for the crime, but never convicted, leaving the murders unsolved. Now you can see for yourself how haunted it actually is, because you can actually stay there overnight. However, keep in mind that a lot of paranormal activity has been reported, and a paranormal investigator had mysteriously stabbed himself in the chest in 2014. So stay at your own discretion. Kansas, STULLS Gateway to Hell. The creepy town of Stull was founded in 1856. Rumors spread that Lucifer himself had been appearing at the town cemetery on Halloween and the spring equinox. There was a roofless church there that he had apparently used as a portal to and from hell. They say he's drawn to the site of witch hangings. Some people believe that Satan's own son was even buried there. To this day, the legend continues, drawing people from everywhere, even cults. Kentucky, Sleepy Hollow Road. People report hearing babies screaming from the darkness near the bridge dubbed Crybaby Bridge, where people who didn't want their children, healthy or sick, would proceed to throw them off to the side to their deaths. Phantom cars with blinding lights will follow you, and it's been reported that a black hearse is known to trail right behind you. So if you go to this place, be mindful of your surroundings. Louisiana, ELLERBE Road Demon School. Nothing but ruins now. This school on this road seemingly lost its name and was dubbed Demon School. The story goes that children had gone vanishing in that area. A janitor was molesting, torturing, and killing them. The school had formally closed in 1974, but still draws cults and Satanists for rituals unknown. Maine, Wood Island Lighthouse. Normal lighthouses help sailors know where land is and is just overall useful. This lighthouse is apparently home to shadowy figures, ghostly moans, and other paranormal activity. This is commonly attributed to the murder-suicide that occurred there in 1896. Maryland, the Goat Man. Killing teenagers, eating dogs, and all the above. It seems the Goat Man has really made a name for itself. They say a crazed scientist who worked at Beltsville Agricultural Research Center had been doing horrific experiments on goats, and that one of the experiments had backfired, giving the scientist massive brain damage, and now supposedly roams Maryland as a goat man. This is how we get supervillains, guys. Knock it off. Massachusetts. The witch trials! The curses of witches and all that dark stuff. But one in particular is the torturous end of Gil's Corey. Corey had been accused of witchcraft, and in order to get confession out of him, they kept putting heavier and heavier rocks on it until he eventually was crushed to death. But with his dying breath, he put a curse over Salem. A curse which some say has been the cause of unexplainable and horrific accidents over the years, including a 1914 fire that burnt down a good portion of the city. Basically, if you see an apparition in Salem, don't go there because something bad is about to happen. Michigan, Hell's Bridge. A crazed preacher by the name of Elias Frisk lures a group of children into the woods. He kills them one by one and throws them into the Cedar Creek. The parents of the children would get their revenge by hanging Elias, perhaps on that bridge? The bridge is an old metal footbridge in the middle of the woods. Those who dare to cross it are usually met with disembodied screams of the children who died, or they see a shadowy figure with glowing red eyes staring at them. Minnesota, Hairy Man of VERGAS Trail. Sightings of an 8-foot-tall man who smells a body odor has been known to be excessively aggressive and has been reported since the 1960s. Ken Zitzow had reported that after a drive in the woods, his car had giant dents all over it. Apparently the hairy man had been trying to attack his car. Makes you think, what if? Mississippi, secret disease cover-up. Many believe that there was a government cover-up due to the Mercedes disease in the late 1950s. The disease would make women sense a hormonal odor coming from men. This would cause them to go completely nanners and brutally kill the man. The epidemic came to a head when an entire town of women chased a single man into a frozen river where everyone ended up drowning. That's, no. Missouri, Zombie Road. If you were to go for a jog, you might take notice of your surroundings. You'd surely notice how it's canopied, the lovely weather, and the shadow figure that's been following you. Reports state that people often feel being watched and are followed by dark figures. People blame a multitude of things, all from a railway accident to ghosts from the Civil War. Montana, Ghost of the Native. You're cruising down Highway 87 at night when suddenly a Native American man who's notably in jeans and has jet black hair slams into your windshield. That's the case in this legend. It seems that no matter how many times this has been reported, it continues and won't end, leading us to wonder if this man is stuck in some type of never-ending hell. Nebraska, Seven Sisters Road. This road has a very sinister history to it. After a family argument, a man had taken each of his sisters to 7 different hills and hung them to different trees. Short, sweet, and to the point. Nevada, Area 51. Sightings have been reported for decades around this place, yet no one exactly knows or can prove anything. It's all suspected to be from Area 51, but you know, I mean, this thing is pretty much known just as well as the Roswell incident. Just don't get too close to this place or you might be taking a long trip to someplace new. New Hampshire. First alien abduction. Betty and Barney Hill were driving home at night when they saw a light in the sky. They watched it for a minute and then kept driving home. But when they started driving again, somehow hours had passed. After they had gone under hypnosis, they admitted to being probed and experimented on. New Jersey, The Watcher. In 2015, a family moved into a new $1 million home in Westfield, New Jersey. They started getting letters by someone that went by the name The Watcher. This person claimed in notes that it was his duty to watch over the house, and he would ask other disturbing questions like, "Do you need to fill the house with young blood?" I requested. And, "Who has the bedrooms facing the street?" Okay, that's a whole bunch of nope right there. New Mexico, Chupacabra. Might be as large as a bear, or no larger than a bear cub, has spikes on its back and glowing eyes, and sucks the blood from animals at night. True or not, this has a lot of people wondering if it's safe to walk alone at night. New York, the Montauk Project. Secret government experiments, opening portals to other dimensions, psychological warfare, and other experiments were carried out on Montauk Island in the 1980s. This was apparently the main inspiration for the show Stranger Things. North Carolina, the Beast of Bladenboro. A large crazed vampiric cat that will kill you. Reports of a large number of animals being killed and some completely drained of their blood. Witnesses say that they saw what looked like a large feline fleeing the scene. Maybe they should get a large box and some catnip. North Dakota, Gates of Hell. Tagus or Tagus, North Dakota. People believe there to be a Lutheran church that doubled as a satanic church, or for satanic worship. The church ends up burning to the ground. They say if you stand in the right spot, you can hear the people who had died and are burning in hell. Hellish dogs, gravestones that glow, and a ghost train have all been reported. Whatever happened here has definitely left its mark. Ohio, the Melonheads. Childlike things that have very sharp teeth, heads shaped like melons, and an insatiable lust for killing babies. The tale has multiple forms depending on where you hear it. The Melonheads can either be nice or extremely vicious. Not all that much is known, and its origin is debatable. Oklahoma, Hex House. Carol Ann Smith would hold loud rituals in her house. One day, she got on the nerve of her neighbors and they called the police. They entered her residence and found 2 women in cages in her basement. The women had been there for over 10 years. Though Smith is now in prison, her house later did become known for its paranormal activity and the type it would attract. Oregon, Crater Lake. Hikers have found the remains of countless people. UFOs appear here alongside Bigfoot stories. One notable event happened in the 70s when a body was found seemingly melted into its own clothing. Pennsylvania, Charlie No Face. Charlie somehow lost his face and became radioactive, and now he spends his nights on the highways looking for his next scare. Be careful though, if he gets you, you'll be joining him in his hunt. Rhode Island, the Conjuring House. A Satanist named Bathsheba allegedly haunted this house and possessed one of the girls inside it. The James Wan movie is a tasteful retelling of such events, and we suggest watching it rather than visiting. South Carolina, BOO-HAGS. BOO-HAGS are frightening things. They're skinless beings that creep into your house at night. They sit on your chest and they feed by sucking out your breath. On occasion, if they're cold, they'll rip your skin off and wear it. I wouldn't want to be a demon's tauntaun, so lock your doors and windows at night. South Dakota, Walking Sam. 103 suicide attempts as of December 2014 at the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota. This is being blamed on the Walking Sam figure. Teenagers are saying they had seen a slender shadow-like figure appear before them, and it was commanding them to kill themselves. It all started in 2013 when 5 members of the Oglala Sioux tribe killed themselves. The vice president of the tribe had found something on Facebook talking about a group teenage suicide. Tennessee, the Bell Witch. 1817, a family is haunted by a spirit known as the Bell Witch. Andrew Jackson got wind of the tale and even visited. He claimed the witch spoke directly to him, but he left and never came back to that house. A cave nearby is said to possibly be the portal the witch used to come and go. It also remains a tourist attraction to this day, so check it out for yourself. Texas, black-eyed children. They can appear anywhere, not just in the dark hallways and closets. They've been known to be in parking lots in totally populated areas, which makes this legend even creepier. They start off seeming innocent to draw you in. First case of this was back in 1996 in a theater parking lot to a Mr. Brian Bethel. He claims up to 12 of them had surrounded him, asking him for a ride home, and upon looking at them, they had bulging black eyes. Utah, Escalante Petrified Forest Curse. It's illegal to take anything from a forest preserve, so you shouldn't do it. These people did and suffered the wrath of the forest. After they had taken pieces of petrified wood, they would experience horrific accidents, breaking arms, ribs, and some being left in financial ruin. They would end up mailing their stolen pieces back with letters stating how sorry they were and the horrific events that had befell them. Vermont, Bennington Triangle. It's always a triangle that makes people disappear or have UFOs appearing near it. This one's no different. Bennington Triangle has even had sightings of Bigfoot. The scary part is the lack of evidence to find these people. They all seem to vanish into thin air, and this continues to this day. Virginia, the Bunny Man. Starting in the 1970s, police received disturbing calls about an axe-wielding man in a bunny costume. Some people say he threw an axe at them for trespassing. To this day, dead rabbits can be found near Fairfax Bridge, better known as Bunny Man Bridge. I mean, he's still been spotted there. Washington, 13 Steps to Hell. There's a tale that there's an underground tomb built by a very wealthy family that had 13 steps. They say that if you went all the way to the bottom and went to go look back up, you wouldn't see the astonished look on your friends' faces. You'd be looking right into the depths of hell, and you'd lose your sanity completely. They say some kids did it a long time ago, and afterwards, they never spoke a word again. West Virginia, Mothman. The Mothman is best known for showing up right before something incredibly horrible happens. People believe he is a bad omen and possibly a genetic experiment gone wrong. There are still reports and sightings of him to this day. What do you think he is? Wisconsin, the HODAG. A dog-like creature with the head of a frog, fangs like a saber tooth, thick legs, and giant claws. It also has spikes on its back. Though it sounds ferocious, apparently it wasn't much of a threat to us humans. A tale dates back all the way to the 1800s. Wyoming, the Plate River Ship of Death. A ghost ship that appears on the Plate River during heavy fog. The damned crew stare at a corpse, and if you continue to look, you'll notice the corpse is a beloved one, who will soon die because you couldn't simply look away. That was a mouthful. Thank you for listening. What did you think of your state's urban legends? Let us know in the comments below. What urban legends would you have added to our list? If you have any proof, better put that down there because we want to see it. Until next time, thank you for listening to
Witch's Hill.